How you doing, everyone? This is Mark, and I'm going to talk to you about the pros and cons of living in Las Vegas. I've been living in Las Vegas for the last 11 years or so, on and off, and I think I've got a pretty good perspective on what it's like to live here. Now, a little bit about me. I'm 40, going to be 48 years old pretty soon. I used to live in Michigan for 28 years. I lived in Florida for a few years. I've lived in Southern California for a couple of years. I've lived in Arizona. So I've got a good range of environments that I've been part of. Um, so to get a good perspective on what it's like to live here compared to where it's like to live in other places. So without further ado, we'll get started. I'll do one of each. I'll do a pro and then a con, then a pro and then a con, then a pro, then a con. And yeah, we'll see where we go from there. First off, the first thing is it's a convenient town. Pretty much anything you want, any time of the day, there's usually a place open and you can get it. We have tons of shopping, tons of food, and that's another thing that I'll get to later on. We have an Amazon distributor here. I mean, there's just pretty much anything you want any time of the day. We don't have times that things have to be closed. Like you can get alcohol if that's what you're into. Any time of the day, any day of the week. You can go to clubs. You can go shopping. We have 24-hour supermarkets. We have tons of like Walmarts and Costco's and Winco. We have a couple of Wincos, which is where I recommend to go shop because it's cheaper to go to than like Smith's or Albertsons or whatnot. These places that are price gouging you unless you're a member of their stupid little club. Cons: the summers here are super hot. And before those of you who live in like Florida or Michigan or humid places go, well, at least it's a dry heat. You've obviously never been here in the summer for any length of time because when it gets up to 117, 120 degrees and there's no humidity, you dehydrate incredibly fast and you can get heat stroke and start to feel dizzy. And you'll feel that dehydration from you. It's like if you ever wondered what it's like to be an ant under a magnifying glass, come to Las Vegas during July and August and hang out outside without a hat and you'll see exactly what I mean. At least when it's humid, yeah, it's kind of stagnant. You know, it's sometimes it's hard to breathe and like especially in southern Florida, but you don't dehydrate very fast. In fact, you don't dehydrate at all because your sweat doesn't go anywhere. So yeah, it kind of sucks being hot in a humid place, but being hot in Vegas, if you're not constantly hydrating, then you're going to be in big trouble. And wear a hat, stay out of the sun. Um, Pros: dining choices. There are so many places here to eat in Las Vegas because this is a big touristy and customer driven or hospitality driven town where you will never run out of options to go eat someplace new nearly every single day. Now, obviously, if you live here, you're going to try everything that's within your area. You know, you're going to try everything that is within a certain number of miles from where you live. And after that, you're going to be like, okay, well, I ate here, I ate there, I ate there. These are all good choices. At least you'll have a lot of different choices around. The only bad thing that I've noticed about Vegas dining is there are a lot of chains here, and so it's tough to find that really nice like mom and pop's style place to go eat. Um, but all in all, my wife and I, we've been here 11 years. We're still finding places we've never eaten at, and it's really nice to have that variety. Um, so you don't get bored with where you want to go eat. And if you're down on the strip, which I never go to as a locals never go to the strip. Um, then your dining choices are greater there, a lot there, but they're also higher end and they're more expensive. So trust me, get off the strip, go find a place off the strip a few miles and go eat there. We've got a big like Chinatown / Asian area where there's tons of good food, and we've even got some places where you can go get some good steak. Uh, so let's move on. Second con about living here, in my opinion, is the bland scenery. We've got like four colors. It's like gray, tan, beige, brown. That's about it. You know, people say, well, we got great scenery. We can see the mountains. But you know what? They're just piles of rocks. There's nothing on them. It's just heaps of rocks. There's no vegetation. Um, Yeah, it's nice being surrounded by mountains, but it's a desert. You really can't. You really have nothing here to see unless you want to look at buildings and streets and the city planted trees. Other than that, there's nothing but dirt, rocks, bushes. That's it. And they're not even bushes; they're scrub. Because this is a desert. So if you like a place with nice scenery, don't come here. Pro, there's a decent cost of living. Las Vegas has actually pretty decent as far as rent is concerned. You can get like a 2-bedroom apartment in most places for 700-800 a month. Utilities aren't that bad, except for in the summertime when you got your electric bill, but you can always average out the bill throughout the year and pay that average amount, and so it kind of balances out. Food is not very expensive. I mean, a gallon of milk is like 2.65 or something like that when you go to like Winco to go shopping. Gallon of gas right now I think is 269, 279, something like that. So the cost of living isn't bad. Um, but we'll get into earnings later on. Con, there's no sense of community here. If you like living in a place where you know your neighbors and you do things with your neighbors and everybody's friendly and such, you won't get that here, like, ever. You won't know your neighbors. You won't care to know your neighbors, and your neighbors don't care to know you. You won't even see them. The only time you ever see anybody in this town, especially in the summer, is when they're leaving their house and they're going to their car, or they're leaving their car, going to their house, or leaving the car and going into a business, into their car. That's the only time is when they're going from there. There's hardly ever any pedestrians unless you're on the strip, and those aren't people who live here. They're tourists, so it doesn't matter. But like when I lived in Southern California, people were out all the time. They were out on their porches because it was nice out, and there was things to do. You could go walking, go to the beach, but they would invite me over to people I didn't even know. Hey, you want to come over and go to the barbecue, or you want to come and we're having a pool party, or we're someone's having a going away party. I'm like, yeah, sure. I've never had that before, so let's go do that. But in Vegas, you don't get that. Your neighbors won't talk to you unless they might say hi once in a while, and that's just the feeling that I got from this place. It's a town of 3 million strangers, pretty much. Um, on the flip side, the pro to that is there's a very diverse population here in Vegas. We've got people from everywhere, so I don't feel here like I do in some places, especially small towns where there's like a heavy overtone of like racism, because we have so many different ethnicities here and people from all over the place. We got people from Southeast Asia, we got people from Europe, we got people from all parts of the United States. We've got tons of Hispanic population. We've got just so many people here. Uh, there's no one group, not even mine. There's no one group that, as far as I can tell, dominates everyone else. And so if you like a nice homogenous community, or shouldn't say community because that goes into what I just said before, but if you'd like a nice diverse place to live, this is a really good spot for that. Cons, I have to say, impatient and selfish drivers and people in general here. Everyone here is really, really in a hurry, and you will notice that on the highways and on the streets because people will cut you off. People won't let you get in when you're trying to get into another lane. Everybody's always trying to get to the front of the line. Everybody here is in a hurry. Nobody does the speed limit except me, and that pisses everyone else off. So if you're a cautious driver or a considerate driver, living here in Las Vegas will start to teach you to be an aggressive driver. And the highways will get clogged up because nobody knows how to merge. Nobody cares. Like, the people in the merge lane don't give any room between the cars for anybody to get in, and then the people in the lane that's going to be merging, they try to zoom up as far as they can to get up ahead of the crowd, and that just causes everybody to get clogged up. Especially like on the 15 going north through past the Strip, about after 1 or 2 o'clock, and on the 215 heading east or west towards the 15, it's just horrible. People learn how to drive, be courteous, let people in, and this will flow a lot nicer. And stop being so damn impatient. Um, Another good thing about living in Las Vegas is we don't have any biting insects. None. There's no mosquitoes because there's no standing water anywhere. There's no horseflies. There's no biting gnats or any of that stuff. I mean, yeah, we have scorpions and spiders, but you don't see them that much in the city itself. This isn't a good environment for them. I've only seen scorpions once in an apartment that I was in, and that was years ago, and only because they lived in the palm tree that was right outside, and it must have fell in the and landed on the balcony and wandered in. But that's the only time I've ever seen them in town anywhere. Other people may have different experiences, but as far as I'm concerned, don't have to worry about bugs. You don't have to wear this bug repellent. None of that stuff. There's just none of them here. There's a lack of good paying jobs here because this is a service oriented city. The best you're going to make, unless you're getting into a large company, which hardly exists here because it's mostly just restaurants and casinos and shopping centers. Most you're going to make is like 10, 12 bucks an hour if you're lucky. You know, you're going to have to really raise yourself up. You know, right now, hey, I'm working at IKEA and I'm making around that. So, but I just got started and they've I feel good about this company. But most places here in Vegas, $8 to $12 an hour, that is the best you're going to do for the average worker. Sorry. Pro, my last pro, they have a good grid city system. Now, I complained about the traffic earlier and the drivers, but getting through town is not difficult at all. They have so many main roads that you can always take a different route to get somewhere, unlike a lot of other cities that I've been to, especially like San Diego, where they have twists and they have turns, but their city is old. So they can't really develop the roads wider without wiping businesses out. And a lot of older towns have that problem, especially like San Francisco and the town I came from, Grand Rapids in Michigan. But here, because Vegas is so new, I mean, it's technically only its current state. It's blown up so much in the last 20 years that they've been able to go, okay, well, we know we're getting all these things in. Let's put all these wide roads in. So the traffic can flow pretty well all the way throughout the entire system until you get to downtown. Downtown traffic doesn't flow at all. Stay away. Stay away. The only bad thing about their grid system is we have so many gated communities here. I swear this is the gated community capital of the world. And so most humongous blocks are all cordoned off by some gated walled community that you can't cut through to get faster to where you're going. That's the only bad thing about that. But other than that, their city system, their street system works really well here. I really enjoy it. Last con, this is for me. This is personal. There is a lack of things to do besides casinos that don't cost any money. That's just the sad thing about this. This is a service entertainment town, and so if you want to do something other than go see a show, go see a movie, go shopping at a mall, or go eat, there's really not much here to do. I mean, yeah, we have hiking outside of town, but if you live anywhere inside of town, you're driving 40 minutes or so, 50 minutes to get out to a place where you can go and go hiking. And then, of course, it's the desert, and it goes back into that. There's not a whole lot to look at when you're outside, so you got your four colors and nothing else. You got rocks and scrub and dirt. That's it. How much fun is that? The scenery is horrible here. So if you do like to do hiking and stuff, yeah, we've got good hiking. If you go hiking for the sake of hiking, but if you go hiking like I do, and you like to go and see scenery while you do it, to be out in nature, this is not the place for that because there is no nature at all unless you go up to Mount Charleston. I haven't been up there, but I hear it's really nice, lots of trees, skiing in the wintertime. So, but for me, I feel trapped here in my house because there's nowhere to go and nothing to do. If you want to go for a walk, the only things you have to look at are sidewalks, streets, and buildings. There's nothing else to look at. There's the random tree that's been planted by the city, but there's absolutely no place for a walker to just go enjoy a freaking walk. Don't say parks, because our parks here suck. Okay, it's mostly just going to be a section of a block with a grass and maybe like a playground and then a few trees dotted around. That's our parks. Very lame. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be posting a lot more. This is my first video on my channel, and hopefully I'll be doing a lot better. I'm going to get a green screen or a green sheet back here so I can green screen myself. You don't have to look at all this garbage, and then I'll have a nice little background on my computer here so you can look at that. And I'm going to be talking about a lot of other things, not just Las Vegas or life in general. I will get on here and just spout my opinion about whatever the heck is coming to my mind and whatever has happened in the world that day and give you my perspective on it as a guy who has lived a certain number of years and has a certain amount of experience on these things. So please like and subscribe, and I will see you later.